Now you know how to follow the steps for syllable surfing. You might like to go syllable surfing through some of your books. I know that syllable surfing is going to help you catch the reading wave. Thank you.
Hello, thanks for joining us for the Midday News. Police are working to obtain warrants for the arrest of a number of individuals in relation to the state loan from the Union Bank of Switzerland, or UBS, in 2014. Commissioner of Police David Manning has advised that the charges intended to be laid have come about following exhaustive investigations and the analysis of evidence from Papua New Guinea, Singapore and Australia over almost 18 months.
The Commission says is foreshadowing the significant operational activity in the interest of public safety and awareness in the event that some of those charged seek to cause social disorder. Manning warned that those who seek to cause public unrest in the event of arrest will have additional charges on them. He said the laying of charges is the consequence of the investigation and analysis finalized under the Proceeds of Crime Task Force that was stood up by the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary. He added that the matters relating to the UBS loan in 2014 are complex and involve multiple sovereign jurisdictions, with investigations taking place following the ending down of the COI final report in March 2022. The charges that are about to be laid are not under the Commission of Inquiry Act, but are covered by the Criminal Code Act and the Proceeds of Crime Act. Manning further clarified that these offences that police will allege that the accused have committed are not faceless crimes, but extremely serious and deprived PNG citizens of substantial amounts of public money. Freddie Moe, TVWAN News.
The police rank and file have been cautioned not to involve in illegal arms smuggling activities as investigation continued into the alleged breach of security at the Jackson's domestic terminal, where 300 live ammunitions were confiscated this week. Police Commissioner David Manning sounded this warning to member of the Royal PNG Constabulary.
The warning to our rank and file that as leaders of both discipline forces, we will not take this lightly. In fact, I think I've made it quite clear that these are criminal acts, and regardless of what oath you swore, whether it's under the PNGDF or the RPNGC or the Correctional Services for that matter, this action is a criminal action, and all you are is a criminal purporting to be a member of the discipline forces when you deliberately and knowingly participate in this type of activity.
A group of influential civil society organizations has called on Export-Import Bank of the United States to reject an application to support a liquefied natural gas project in Papua New Guinea. The Papua LNG project risks leaving US $13 billion in stranded assets without securing guaranteed sales, according to Oil Exchange International, at a time when the Pacific Islands faces significant climate threats. In an August 29 letter to U.S. acting President and Senator Joe Lewis, 27 groups, including Friends of the Earth, U.S. Australia's Market Focuses, and Papua New Guinea-based Centre for Environmental Law and Community Rights, highlight the significant financial risk and opportunity cost, as well as harmful climate impacts of the project. The Papua LNG project is operated by Total Energies, with major oil and gas companies ExxonMobil and Santos both co-ventures. PNG's national oil and gas company, Kumul Petroleum, is also a partner. Papua New Guinea Forestry Authority signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the University of Technology's Forestry Department on August 25th in Lae, paving way for both parties to foster education, training and research. The MOU was signed by the PNG FA Managing Director John Mosoro in the presence of Unitec Head of Forestry Department, Kosi Yossi.
The signing also enables foresters at PNG FA with diploma to upgrade to degree or higher degree programs. These programs will be assessed either at Bulolo University College or Unitec for the purpose of improving their work performance. Unitec Head of Forestry Department, Dr. Kosi Yossi, said this year marks 61 years of quality forestry education in the country.
We started in 1962, and today is 61 years of training and education in the country. And now, on behalf of the Vice Chancellor of the University of Technology, I thank the Ministry of Forestry, headed by Honorable Waipo, and the Managing Director of Forest Authority, Mr. John Mosoro, for signing this significant memorandum of understanding between the Forest Authority and the University of Technology.
As part of the MOU, the Unitec 3rd and 4th year forestry students will be taken on by the PNG FA during Christmas vacation for their 60-day professional work experience, which is a mandatory requirement for students to be eligible to graduate.
This is a milestone achievement for the university. Today, the Vice Chancellor of the university is now asking the 13 academic departments to reach out to the communities so that the country we know that the university is contributing effectively to the country and the communities.
The 3-year MOU will also look at the cadetship program, where PNG FA will recruit high-performing students after the completion of their studies. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
Papua New Guinea is hosting the 2nd National Climate Change Summit, focusing on climate justice and social inclusion. Simo Kilepa emphasized the urgent need to address climate change's impacts on vulnerable communities with call to accelerate access to climate finance. Nearly 300 participants from diverse backgrounds will discuss resilience, international commitments and collaboration. Minister Kilepa praised the organization for their efforts in coordinating the event. You've probably noticed stories recently about alarming and unprecedented reductions in Atlantic sea ice. Now scientists are warning Australia's reputation as a leader in Antarctica research has been damaged by ongoing funding issues and operational decisions.
This winter, satellites picked up an unprecedented reduction in Antarctic sea ice, prompting Southern Ocean scientists to sound the alarm.
Massive, unexpected events like this recent sea ice change, I think, is really a clarion call to governments to effectively wake up and say that this is worth monitoring.
Some researchers believe Australia isn't doing enough to observe the rapid changes.
Ramping down rather than ramping up our observations at this really critical time when the impacts of climate change are becoming so evident is, I would say, catastrophic.
The Senate is holding an inquiry into budget issues affecting the Australian Antarctic Division, which told staff in July that it needed to find $25 million in savings, around 16% of its annual operating budget.
Equivalent to taking the canary out of the coal mine just as it's starting to struggle to breathe.
The inquiry has received 16 submissions, including one from the University of Tasmania, which said the ongoing funding uncertainty is significantly impacting the standing of the Australian Antarctic Division in the world's scientific community. Some staff within the division have signed an open letter calling for greater investment in research.
They need that science capacity turned back on because they know how important that work is.
The Federal Environment Department says the Australian Antarctic Division continues to work closely with the scientific community and that it's supporting more than 40 research projects this season. It also says that funding for the division will increase in each of the next 3 years.
18 young men were from the Central Province graduated in plant operator training yesterday. gaining skills in the operation of excavators. Baratau operator skills training or BOAST provided the training to the youths in partnership with the central provincial government, who paid the tuition fees for the students.
The Baratau Operator Skills Training, or BOST, is an avenue that provides second chance for youths in Central Province to gain basic trade skills. They held their second graduation in plant operator training yesterday and successfully had 18 students graduate in certificate in excavator. BOST Executive Director Tony Ombara said the training started with a team from BOST visiting the participating wards with the training materials and trainers, conducting both theory and practical lessons for the students.
After passing the test, both theory and practical, they are graduated with certificates, reference safety certificates and Class 7 operator license. Our first batch, 31 students from Kuni RLLG, Kariku district, which we conduct their training at Bagodu station. We brought them to do practical and OJT as their training here in Irikoyari district.
He added that welding courses will be introduced this month, September, and the format will be similar to the current trainings where BOST staff will visit each ward with training materials. BOST believes that welding is a highly demanded skill in Port Moresby, and the introduction of this course is to market students to this growing trade. President for Vanapa Brown, Wayne Lorivre, welcomed this initiative and said it was a sign of change for the youths in the community.
In fact, it is with pleasure I have my honorable councillors sitting here today witnessing this event. The vision block governor, as the executive officers emphasized, empowering through education is the key way to go.
The Central Provincial Government paid the tuition fees for the students with the aim to develop human resource in the province. Representing the Governor for Central Province, Executive Officer Taugen Ohoire was present and acknowledged the initiative.
We acknowledge Baratau Operator Skills Training as one of Central Province institutions to help our youth improve in their skills for career development. The Governor's priority areas or thematic priority areas, just for everyone's information, are integral human development, development of human beings in the physical, mental, and spiritual areas. One of the big parts of her integral human development focus is the governor's tuition fee. So the governor's tuition fee contribution for Baratau Operators Training Center was 32,450 for 49 students. So each student was, school fee subsidy was 1,200. So that's also for many other institutions nationwide where Central Province students are schooling.
The Moni Plus Port Moresby Australia Football League competition heads into finals this weekend after the completion of the regulation rounds last weekend. On Saturday, September 9th, University Tigers plays TSI Lamana Dockers in the A Reserve and Garaka Bombers plays TSI Lamana Dockers in the Senior Division to round up the qualifying finals for the day. On Sunday, September 10th, the Reserve Elimination Finals is Concept Koboni takes on Bismarck Maritime West Eagles and Gereu Megmais battle it out with Bismarck Maritime West Eagles in Senior Division to secure places in the qualifying finals. The Port Moresby AFL President Douglas Lai said there are some surprises at the conclusion of the round, one of which being last year's champions Concept Koboni missing out on Senior Division finals. Meanwhile, in both A Reserve and Senior Divisions, Gordon's Kokofa claims minor premiership. Thanks for watching. Join us at 6 tonight for more.